Welcome to Ladies of Another View. I'm here today with Ann and April, and some of you just might know Marlo Anderson. And we're going to talk to him in just a little bit. Got to let people know that later on in the show, I have somebody from Epic Times. We're going to talk about AI. Marlo's going to touch on that a little bit too. Also, the orange industry. It isn't what it used to be in Florida, but they're trying to make it come back. And for the lighter side, we're going to talk about age. So we're going to give you kind of hints at how old we might be and why it's a good thing, not a bad thing. You can get better with age. So let's introduce Marlo Anderson to any of you who don't know him. I don't know. You've been living under a rock if you don't know Marlo. National Day Calendar, if that sounds familiar. He's the brains behind it. National. I mean, you've been on major networks, celebrated all over. You have a website where you can go every day and find out what day are we celebrating today, right? And
That's right. Yep.
MarloAnderson.com.
I guess you can go there, but nationaldaycalendar.com will get you there as well. Yep.
And I wrote down both websites,
Okay.
and I was surprised how all-encompassing your website is too. You can get to everything from there, and you would also learn that he's more than just a calendar guy. That you have been voted like one of the top 25 speakers, among the top 10 influential entrepreneurs, also voted one of the top 10 speakers. The guy is a visionary. He's an idea man, full of energy. And we got him today. Somehow he penciled. You know what? I think you were just scrolling and you go, hey, you texted me.
Well, I think you and I bumped into each other like a few weeks ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And said, hey, if we can figure this out, and I happen to be in town today, so it's a great day to be here on the show.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. I think that you should give like an intro to our guests like you did on that poster. That was great. Like, what was that pose? How did that go?
I guess I didn't look. I mean, was I like this? Was I like this? I mean, I do a lot of poses. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna practice that one, everybody.
Anything is possible with Marlo. You know, as long as we're on this, I have a little clip of one of your national days.
Okay.
And I found one in June, and it was National Sauntering World Sauntering
Did
Day.
we
And
saunter
I thought,
here and there a
I
little
don't
bit?
even know what saunter is.
Seriously?
okay, well,
We'll have to watch now.
let's watch, and then you'll know. We'll watch this little video.
If you are rushing through your summer walks just to get your steps in, you might be doing it all wrong. June 19th is World Sauntering Day. Legendary naturalist John Muir famously loathed the word hiking, arguing that people shouldn't aggressively stomp through nature just to cross a finish line. Instead, he insisted that we should saunter. He compared it to ancient travelers walking to the Holy Land. He felt we should wander the earth with deep reverence, joy, and absolutely no hurry. Today, we are encouraged to slow our pace, look up at the trees, and rediscover the beautiful, soulful art of walking with absolutely nowhere to be. I'm Marlo Anderson with National Day Calendar, reminding you to celebrate every day.
That was practically a religious experience.
Yes.
Sauntering the earth with great reverence. It's like, that's why I liked that one.
It's so funny. I literally was hiking the other day and I was thinking, I need to slow down and take in all of nature around me and just really be purposeful.
We do rush through it a little bit.
Yeah, we do.
Well, I didn't even know there was a word for that. I didn't know what sauntering was. I'm going to start using that and sound like an educated coach.
There you go.
I guess.
There you
So
go.
I just ran a race in California through Muir Woods. So it was really amazing.
Interesting. Yes.
And
yes.
it was someone just asked me, "Are you not planning on the Olympics anymore?" Because I'm now telling my people to take their time, enjoy yourself, run how you feel, stop and smell the roses, and they're like, who is this lady? I'm going to add sauntering to my resume. I'm just sauntering.
Yeah.
Yes.
Today's not a race day. It's a sauntering
It's not
day.
a smolder, it's a saunter.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, because what you did has become so epic, when did you start it, and how, like, what gave you this idea, and did you ever envision it would be this big?
So we'll start with the start of it. So it was just something I've always been fascinated with. Back in 2012, we celebrated like 20 or 30 national days in this country. And I was just looking for a website to find out information on National Popcorn Day and was kind of surprised that there was nothing out there. So I just started to blog about the national days that we celebrated. And as I was doing that, uncovered other national days that had been forgotten. And after researching for 2.5 years, my friends and family did not like that I was spending all my nights and weekends doing this. It took 2.5 years. I uncovered 1,200 national days that had just been, the president in 1796 declared something, Congress in 1838, and uncovered all of these. And during that process, the media started to follow what I was doing, and they would use it as, probably news fill-ins in the morning or whatever on slow news days, and just started having this amazing following. And it's now the biggest trending topic in the world. So it's just quite amazing. We have a reach of over 1 billion people every day.
Wow.
So,
And I want everyone to know, when you're in Mandan, kind of at the end of Mandan, there's
Yes.
this little building,
Yep.
National Day calendar
Yep.
at your office. I love that you became so big, but you're humble beginnings and still humble
Yeah.
while the rest of the world has discovered National Day calendar.
yeah. We've become, our office has become kind of this pilgrimage for people. We get people from all over the country and sometimes even around the world that just swing by unannounced and want to take photos and stand in front of the wall. And then we have a robot that comes by and takes selfies of people and all this stuff. So it's just a lot of fun to come on in and enjoy National Day calendar.
Good to know that we can pop in.
Absolutely.
So you are an entrepreneur, you're a speaker, a visionary. Tell us a little bit more about some of the influences that you have and some of the experiences that you've had.
Wow, I am very blessed. I have had amazing experiences, as high as you can think. I mean, I've spent time with the president, I've spent time with homeless people, all because of national days, so it's been very, very interesting. Recently, I guess I hung out with Fluffy a little bit for our International VW Bus Day. He has a VW bus collection. So Gabriel Iglesias, if you're wondering who Fluffy is, yeah, okay.
I was like, gosh, I'm going to sound so stupid on this show.
I thought it could
Sauntering,
be a
then
cat.
Fluffy.
Yeah,
I mean, what is
like-
going on here? No, he's a very well-known comedian, and so we hung around a little bit for that. And I get to hang around amazing people, and some people I can't tell you, but get to have dinner with some people occasionally or whatever. So quite amazing, actually. Yep.
So what is your favorite speaking engagement that you've done?
Probably the last one, and I will always say that. I guess the VW bus thing was interesting because we did a proclamation, and that was in Huntington Beach. You have to say it without the T, by the way. I learned that real fast. It's not Huntington Beach, it's Huntington Beach. I have to say honey. So when you get there, just know that. Okay. And then met the president of Volkswagen, and we turned around and looked, and there had to be 100,000 people out there to celebrate this National Day. It was just quite amazing. So that was fun. Was just at the Travel Writers Convention, spoke there last week. I think always the last talk is probably my most favorite because it just gets better and better and better all the time. And I enjoy, I guess I enjoy sharing ideas and thoughts. I do not like public speaking, just so you know that. I will be like this beforehand. I know
that
people,
surprises me.
people think
Yeah.
that is not the case. I am a very nervous person when it comes to being out in public, but I, you have to face your fears, right? And that's, I try to do that the best I can.
So are you nervous here?
I am. Yeah.
Well, no wonder the table is kind of shaky.
Not at all.
You
He's
can always
totally
tell
pulling
because
it
I'm
off.
always digging into my fingernails underneath the table here, so that's always a
Don't
dead
give us
giveaway.
your-
Well,
It's
nobody
okay.
would know that. We're
It's
going to go to
okay.
a break, but let me guess. Are you an extrovert? You got to be.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, if not, this would be torture for you
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
meeting and greeting so many people.
Yeah.
And being an extrovert, these talking engagements must really charge you up, like just energize you. And
I get excited about what I'm about to talk about next, and AI, of course, is one of the things that I talk about extensively, and that is always interesting because it changes daily. So
Yes.
the talks never get old because of that.
so we're going to talk about AI. We're going to talk a little bit maybe about CO2, AI. I know you have like this whole putting golf
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
We'll go through that quickly and end on AI, so don't go away. There's more to come.
Find your path to discovery, adventure, and inspiration in Lemon, South Dakota. Immerse yourself in the charm and beauty of the region's natural resources. Unearth airs of history. Explore the unique attractions and world-renowned creations. Come see for yourself what makes this community a great getaway and an even greater place to make your home. Whether you're here for a day or for a lifetime, you can find your path in Lemon, South Dakota.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Yeah, U.S. Cattlemen is a member organization that each member has a vote in anything we do with policy. We're representing the independent cattleman or the cow-calf guy or an independent feeder or whatever. We like to support the independent producer. We're talking about mandatory ID, we're talking about cool, we're talking about all the legislation that's going to be coming down with the new administration. There's going to be lots of moving and shaking, so always check us out at our website, uscattleman.org.
Come on in and experience small town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car. Whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute, we have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. Beset Motors, where our customers send their friends.
When I first decided to invest in gold, I was a bit nervous and unsure how to start. Luckily, I found Noble Gold Investments. From the very first call, they made investing easy. No pushy sales tactics, no gimmicks, and no confusing free silver offers with hidden fees. Just honest advice tailored to my needs, giving me confidence every step of the way. If you're new to gold investing or want a partner you can trust, visit noblegoldinvestments.com.
Welcome to where classy meets Wild West. Buffalo Gypsy Boutique of Bismarck has clothing, decor, and gifts ranging from sophisticated boho style to fun and flashy. Our exclusive brands such as Scully, Double D Ranch, and Tanner Mark provide standout style for the whole family, right down to the little ones. We always have a great selection of Kimes denim, and we proudly offer American-made jewelry and artwork. Find Buffalo Gypsy classing up North Bismarck just off Highway 83.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View, and welcome back to our guest, Marlo Anderson, that I'm just thrilled you're here with us. We need to have you on here more often because you bring light and joy, excitement. You are an entrepreneur. You do so much, but he's the founder of the National Day Calendar. If you go to marloanderson.com and nationaldaycalendar.com, not if, when you go, you've got to go. It's just uplifting, and you can know what's being celebrated every day.
You know, and I love our website right now. We just revamped the entire thing. It took 2 years to do this, and I'm loving how it's starting to come together now. I mean, it's all in stages, you know, but we have a National Day classroom now. We have National Day radio. We have all of these wonderful things that people can use to base studies around national days, and you know, even the piece that people just watched. You know, you learn a little bit from these things, and that's what we want. We really have adopted Paul Harvey's storytelling, and that really is what drives like the radio and the television things that we do.
So you have 1 billion hits a day, you're world famous, but that's not enough, no. Marlo does all this other stuff. You're an entrepreneur. You've been rated one of the top 10 entrepreneurs in the country. So what are some of the programs that you've done?
Wow, it's all over the place. You know, Ace Putt, I guess, is one that we're rolling out here. That is a new vision on miniature golf, and it's not a new mini golf. Like if you were to go to like Top Golf, for example, for regular golfing, it's actually using existing mini golf courses, but a different rule set. In fact, Ace Putt is called that because the only shot that counts is a hole-in-one, but you get 3 chances at it. And we have an app that goes with that. It's a lot of fun. We really have a lot of fun playing that. You know, I have a new show called The Absurdists that maybe you don't know anything about yet, but that is a new thing that we're working towards, and it's just like it sounds. We talk about all things absurd. I love that show. We talk about why there's warning labels on things and how those warning labels came to be. Like, why is there a warning label in iron that says that you can't iron it while wearing your shirt? I mean, come on. It's like warning labels are anti-common sense. It just doesn't even make sense why they would have these things. But we pick on stuff like that, so it's a lot of fun.
That sounds fun.
Well, I didn't know about this. Is it already launched, or is it going to be launched?
So we're actually airing it on community access here in town right now. It's just always been a fun thing for me to try to do something along those lines. And so Mary Murphy and myself, Mary's out of Las Vegas, and we air that show. I think it's Thursdays at 10 and Tuesdays, and I don't know the schedule, I guess, but there will be a time that it will be much larger. We're just kind of getting our footing, and thought community access would be a fun place to do that at.
Oh my gosh, this is something right away. You've gotten our attention.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It sounds fascinating.
I think we laugh 50% of the time because you just, again, it's just so. We get into the grass, of whatever. I'm having a hard time describing it. Just watch it sometime.
Just watch it.
But it must take a certain amount of work finding all these absurd things.
Yeah. It's
so
a few
it may
hours.
seem like on the surface, this guy's got it easy and he's, getting all this publicity, but the work that goes behind it is you do have to have a good product.
You three can attest to this. There was a day that all three of you sat down here and said, all right, we're just going to sit here for an hour and talk about our stuff. That is not the case, is it?
No.
All the work is before and after.
I was up till 1 trying to find a lighter side, and I couldn't get my work done till later because I have company. But yeah, you got to put the work in. So once you put the work in, then it is smooth sailing.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're prepared.
Usually, right?
Yeah, well,
there's a few unforeseen things that happen here and there.
You have no idea how many times, like a minute before we go live, our guest doesn't show up or we can't hook up, and we're like, what are we going to talk about?
We got it.
We just
I never panic.
Not usually.
We hope you think that we pull it off.
But we always have something to talk about.
We've studied for almost 200 years combined.
I think if you add it up, it might come out that way. Yeah. So
that's what our producer told us in the back.
Yeah, that is. I'm recalling facts. No.
You also have a carbon-based. I looked at it, and it's like, we think carbon dioxide is good for the plants and the greening of the planet. But we also think sequestering is crazy. But I have a sister-in-law who works for a company that has figured out how to take the carbon and turn it into a battery. And I know there's other companies doing that. Instead of talking about putting it underground in pipelines, like what does your company do?
So I think you hit on probably the core of why I'm chasing this. I also think it's crazy. CO2 is good for the planet. We're at, we range around in that 430 parts per million. It was always, I watched an interview a couple of years ago when they were asking Congress about what's the percentage of carbon dioxide in our air, and they were picking on 4, 5, 10, must be high, they talk about it all the time, right? It's 430 parts per million. I mean, if we start pushing to, if you look in the past, 800 to 1,000 parts per million, all right, then we have to get probably a little more concerned about things. But, our plants flourish because of these things, and I just think that, but it puts it at top of mind, right? Like all the other sometimes crazy things that government does. And I was just thinking about how pine trees grow out of rocks on mountains. Mm-hmm. And because of National Day calendar, we were working towards National Astronaut Day. And I was at the Space Symposium in Colorado Springs a few years ago and happened to sit down with some astronauts do, but scientists that work with NASA. And over dinner, we were talking about what would happen if we created artificial photosynthesis. Like the sun, when it hits something green, uses the carbon dioxide and makes beautiful things and food that we eat and stuff like that. Well, they took that idea and actually made a nanofilm from this, which they then got back to me and said, hey, your idea actually works, and if you want to license this and do something with it, then you can have this. So that's where we're at with this. Right now it's at UND. It has, the latest research has passed all expectations. We expect to commercialize this within a year. We will be able to pull CO2 out of stacks, like coal-powered plants or ethanol or whatever and actually make oxygen and carbon monoxide, or actually take it one step further and add hydrogen to this and make synthetic fuels.
So the name of the company is Carbon
Convert. Yep.
Carbon
Carbon
Convert.
Yep.
You can go to the website and is it carbonconvert.com?
Carbonconvert.tech, I think.
.tech,
is what it is.
okay.
Yep.
And see what that's all about.
Yeah.
It sounds fascinating.
It is fascinating.
And exciting. Instead of talking about crazy stuff, like burying it under the ground, and
we should make something with
let's
it, right?
utilize it. Yeah.
Yes, where it could be
like
dangerous.
plants do. Yeah.
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 Very interesting.
The reason NASA's interested, by the way, is that the atmosphere on Mars is 95% CO2. So this ability to use sunlight to break apart CO2 into oxygen, which we need to breathe, and carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide, which you combine with hydrogen, which we can pull out of water, actually allows NASA to create fuels on Mars, which means that maybe we only have to bring half the fuel to Mars to come back home. You know, and so that's what's interesting about this whole process.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you back to talk about that.
Whole other thing, yeah.
We have to continually have Marlo back
it'll
to
be
talk
fun.
about everything from So, okay, let's talk about AI quickly.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I know you mentioned that as a possible topic, and so what's your involvement and vision? What are you thinking about
So
AI?
I am all in on AI. You know, the debate can be, you know, I think a lot about cooling centers, and I have another idea that I'm working on that will take care of that. But I like AI because I think it makes us more human.
Okay,
Expand that. Because my
What is
AI
it,
doesn't have any traits. I asked him, you tell me something about you. I am not a person. I do not have emotions.
So you think about this, right? A lot of us live on an 80-20 rule, right? I live now on a 95-5 rule. Now 80-20 means that you got to do 20% of crap to do the 80% of the good that we have, right? So you will be stunned at the amount of work I do every day with artificial intelligence. And it's the mundane stuff. So let AI do the mundane things in our lives so we can amplify our awesome. That's truly what this is about.
What?
Well, would you rather not spend more time with your significant others in your life instead of mowing the yard?
No, but like, what do you let them do?
So yeah, I have an autonomous mower that mows my yard. That saves me 150 hours a year. The uploading of TV programs, for example, we record them, and it has to go to all these different places for distribution. It actually handles that for me. It handles all of it. As we're sitting here right now, my AI is uploading about 30 videos into all the different distribution platforms.
And after every show, I have ChatGPT summarize everything for me. I just put in my rundown, and they put it together and just go over, make sure it's coherent.
And that is probably a more basic thing. What I'm actually talking about is it actually manually takes that file and goes to like Video Elephant and then drops it in there and then comes back. Or I'll give it jobs to do overnight. Like if I have some major research that I have to do, it'll come back. The fire relief effort, for example, with the apartment fires recently, I head some of that up, right? And all the financial stuff that goes along with that. All the receipts that are turned in actually go through AI, prints out this amazing letter that goes to each of the individuals that were impacted by this and all the reimbursements that go back to them and everything. It takes me 15 minutes a week to do this. It would take somebody 40 hours a week to do exactly the same thing.
Right. So Marlo, we need 40 hours a week with you just to cover everything that you're doing. And I love that you came on today, and I want to have you on again. We can't wait so long.
Let's do it.
And so thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate being here.
Now that I have you, witnesses, like you will be on again maybe next month, right?
Just give me a holler.
I'm going to do that.
Okay.
So, well, thank you for joining us. And coming up next, we're going to talk with Jacob Berg from Epic Times a little bit more on AI, so don't go away.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
When there's a storm on the horizon, you typically don't get a lot of advance notice. So you brace yourself as best you can and rebuild when it's over. Times like these are what insurance is for, the protection of our livelihoods, our families, our homes, and our lives. We support our community coming together in times of need. As an independent insurance agency, we tailor our services to your needs. At Dakota Community Insurance, we can help you weather the storm. Talk to one of our agents today.
We are the St. Mary Sisters. We are building a new facility here in Bismarck, North Dakota, for the sake of training young women to be courageous teachers in this state. The sisters will educate the younger generation to be fully alive through truth and discipline. The sisters' life of devotion and joy will make a positive difference in your community. Check out what we're up to, see what's going on, and join our mission to make a difference in the lives of the children of North Dakota.
Let's be frank, it's a pain to be without your vehicle after an accident. That's why you should take it to Jerome's Collision Center. Our shop is supersized and we have the qualified staff to fill it up and work on your vehicle, step by step, piece by piece, in crazy fast time without sacrificing quality. When you need us, we'll turn your bad experience into a good one. We're Jerome's Collision Center and we're the best at what we do.
Hey, I'm Corey Heppola, and I grew up in a small town.
This road used to be gravel.
But a long time ago, I left to live in a big city. Now, I wonder...
Just because we're small doesn't mean we can't have nice things.
What would it be like to move back?
Man, it's mad love up in here.
So, I'm traveling to different small towns across the Midwest to find out. Because what do I really know about rural living? Oh. The people.
If there is anything that you can say about this town, it's that we take care of each other.
The innovation.
So none of this equipment even existed.
And the opportunities.
It's like every year in the spring, there's always like a revitalization of just excitement.
This is my town.
Oh! Oh, jeez! You were close.
7 episodes. Sunday night, 6:30 on Beck TV.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View. And we have another great guest, Jacob Berg, who is a reporter with Epic Times, and he covers national politics, aerospace, and aviation. So just a wide berth, but he also talks about like the orange industry. We're going to talk about that next segment. But first, we're going to talk about AI. Welcome to the show, Jacob.
Thanks for having me.
You've done quite a few articles on AI, and I want to hone in on. We just had a guest who loves AI. It helps him be so productive in so many different ways, and I use it to a small extent. But we also hear these horror stories, and I just want to point to 2 different articles that you've written on about AI-powered cyber attacks on advanced systems may be months away, and also that the government, that there's a new, what is it? Let's put up your other one. Yeah, OpenAI releases new flagship model to limited user followers following government concerns, and those two kind of go together. So tell us, what are the big concerns right now with AI, particularly with government?
Yeah, so what's kind of happening and has been happening since at least April, all these firms, it started with Anthropic, which makes Claude, and now we're seeing this with OpenAI, which makes the really popular ChatGPT, is that basically they've got these new models. In the case of Anthropic, it's an actual, what they call a frontier model. And really all that means is they're just the most advanced versions of the technology. Like OpenAI, the article you were pointing out, they've got their most advanced model now. It's not as strong as Anthropic, so I don't know if they're calling it a frontier model yet, but really all that means is that the technology is getting to a point where it's getting so advanced that when they basically like test it against an operating system like Windows or like a web browser like Firefox or Chrome, they'll ask it to see if it can find exploits, things that the software essentially can dig into to try to, break the security on the actual software. And in some cases, like with Anthropics, they were finding exploits that even the developers of the software weren't aware of, which they call zero-day exploits. But they're basically just really, really advanced versions of AI that are so capable that if they fell in the wrong hands, they could be used to do potentially some really scary things. And that's why governments, especially the US government's been taking notice.
Yeah, because it's like this is the concern and has been in Hollywood for how long now? How many movies have been?
Yeah.
The concern is
Decades.
right that we are going to get beyond human control with this, that it's going to
Yes.
go outside of humanity and it's going to take on an intelligence really essentially in and of itself. So how does that relate to what we're talking about here?
I mean, scarily enough, it relates directly to what we're talking about because Anthropic specifically, they pointed out in a blog post, I think it was last month, it was in the last few months, since they released that new model, which they call Mythos. And just to be clear, it's not in the hands of the public yet. It's still like being tested with a small group of people. But regardless, they themselves pointed out, they're like, okay, we're using AI to advance the AI itself. So in other words, we're allowing the AI to use the technology that it has innate in it to improve that technology. So they'll use the AI to code basically advancements into itself. And they pointed out very, very bluntly that this has a really worrying risk of what they've got a fancy term for it called recursive self-improvement. Essentially, all that means is AI developing itself past the point at which humanity control it. You know, like, is it going to start making changes to its architecture outside of the commands that we give the AI? So, like, is it just going to start developing at a pace faster than we can control? There's a lot of speculation and there's a lot of concerns. I mean, I'm not a computer scientist myself, so I can't really get into the actual like science of it personally, but I've seen a lot of people raising flags about this. And Anthropic specifically was calling for AI companies worldwide to basically slow down and work together and figure out like how much of a risk this is and what the timeline could be. Because yeah, like you pointed out, the last thing we want is an AI that basically just completely goes past humanity. And you know, there's even been studies I've seen where they take AI chatbots and they're able to like scheme a little bit outside of the tests that the researchers give them. And that's a whole other topic to go into. But it basically reaffirms that the AI is learning so much that it is starting to show levels of intelligence it wasn't showing before.
So little old me, you know, just a normal person out running, love my dog, small business owner. How does this affect me and what can I do?
Well, one thing that I always talk to people about with AI is, you know, it has a lot of good uses. There's a lot of things that it can do that can definitely help with day-to-day tasks, especially, you know, running a business. There's lots of things you can use certain chatbots for, and obviously I'm not going to endorse one or the other. But my point is that, you know, there's not a lot necessarily that individual people yet need to really concern themselves with outside of the ways in which they're using the AI for their own lives. And to give you an example, it's just like a lot of people now are using these chatbots to basically take the place of Google. And then even Google themselves have used Gemini, their chatbot, in Google search results. So you go type something in, you know, you want to find a quick answer to something, and it'll give you ostensibly an answer right at the top of the front of the page. Or if you go to ChatGPT, you do the same thing. The issue is that there's been a lot of what they call hallucinations. And I mean, we're going to get into my orange story in a minute, but as an example, when I was researching it, I was trying to fact check one of the figures that I had put in the story just to make sure I had the exact dates right. And I just randomly saw what Gemini gave me when I was Googling it to find the data. And it was confidently wrong about something, about the year when Florida had had the most oranges harvested, because it was like misinterpreting one report. Basically, a report was a forecast. It wasn't an actual summary of how many oranges had been harvested that year, but the AI didn't know the difference. And so that's something that I think more people should be concerned about in their day-to-day lives. I mean, obviously the whole self-improvement risk is something that's going to be downstream soon, probably. But the day-to-day, you know, work that people do with AI, they need to be aware that it's not perfect, that it makes mistakes, and to always double check whatever you're putting in, whatever it's giving you in terms of like if you ask it a question and you want information, it's important to double check.
So Jacob, you're giving good advice, and I've seen studies though where how confident are you in what you find in AI, and especially the younger generation to a large extent, they're using this. You put something into Google, and not only do they give you your information and then some, and then they say, and how about this? Would you like to? I mean, you're getting such a sophisticated response that you can't believe there's not a person on the other end, because it's mind-boggling, and they do it in a second, a split second. But people are trusting it, and like you have found, and I double check things, and they're saying, oh, make sure you double check it. But we've created a world where no, everyone's just going to accept whatever is being given to them. And it's not just about facts, it's about political persuasion. Depending on which program you're using, you're getting different answers and different slants. And we only have a minute left, but I mean, is that something that's just going to change society beyond what we can control?
Yeah, it's concerning. You mentioned kids that are being raised in this right now, and there's all of the concerns about how they're going to deal with this technology as they get older. But then in my own reporting, I've seen people of all ages. I mean, people as older than my parents who are talking to these bots as if there's a human being on the other side, and then in some cases falling down the rabbit hole and then posting online about how they think the AI is sentient and is conscious and is talking to them like a living human being. And so, yeah, there's a lot of things on my mind about this, moving into the next few years for sure.
Okay, well, we're gonna end it here, and I know you're going to continue to report on this, and so we'll have to check in with you. But we're going to talk about the orange industry in Florida. It's not what it used to be, so we'll be right back with that.
You know the rule. No phones at the dinner table.
I know, I'm sorry. It's just Noble Gold Investments. I bought some gold for the kids.
Finally.
Well, the gold you bought me gives me so much security in this economic disaster we're having. I want that for them too.
Well, I've been investing with Noble Gold Investments for years, and I'm pretty sure they can wait until after lunch.
Invest in something you can hold. Invest in Noble Gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to learn more.
West River Equipment of Mandan is here to help you maintain peak productivity in your operation. As an authorized dealer for many high-quality equipment lines, we have the new and used equipment it takes to make your farming, ranching, or construction operation profitable and efficient. West River Equipment also has the parts on hand and the experienced technicians in our shop to get your equipment back in action fast. Find what you need at West River Equipment on Old Red Trail in Mandan.
Find relief for what ails you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Teas, supplements, tinctures, and more, formulated to fight whatever has you down. We're Bismarck Mandan's favorite place to find delicious, natural, and easy ways to alleviate symptoms brought on by anything from colds to cancer. Brew a better you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Steep Me products may cause side effects, including but not limited to improved mood, deeper sleep, enhanced hydration, renewed sense of smell, increased energy levels, superior balance, boosted immunity, proper digestion, restored sense of calm, and a delightful smelling home.
Welcome to Radiant Retreat Tanning and Spa in Mandan, where a relaxing spa experience meets the latest in healing innovations. Take total control of your massage in our Hydro Massage Bed. Experience whole body healing in our Zero Body Cryo Bed. Let our salt sauna and halo generator restore your respiratory and skin health. And of course, tailored tanning will keep you looking as good as you feel. Discover your best self at Radiant Retreat, 1307 1st Street Northeast, Mandan.
We're from North Dakota, where 12,000 workers bring electricity to 2 million customers and provide over $5 billion in economic activity to the state, while reclaiming 22,000 acres of land. This is coal country.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View, and I want to welcome back our guest, Jacob Berg, who is a reporter with Epic Times, and he's done a big report on, welcome back, Jacob, sorry, just diving in here, how a tiny insect has decimated the orange industry in Florida. Now, before we talk, you did a 2-minute little TV episode kind of talking about your report. We're going to watch that, and then you can explain more.
Not as good as when I was a kid. Florida oranges just aren't the same. And I know, I live here. There's a reason for that. And I talked to some people who are finding solutions. I'm Jacob Berg, a journalist with the Epic Times. This is Katie and Shane Bevilacqua. They're citrus farmers in Florida. They run Golden Ridge Groves in Bartow. And this is their grapefruit orchard. They're not in a massive greenhouse. It's their custom-built structure, citrus under protective screen, or cups for short. Protection from what? This. Can you see it? It's the Asian citrus psyllid, an invasive insect from China. Though it's small, its impact is devastating. Oranges, tangerines, grapefruit, limes, all of them fair game to this pest. And it doesn't just ruin the fruit, it kills the trees, entire orchards. That's where the Bevilacqua's cup system comes into place. It's a super fine mesh. It lets light and water through, but keeps the bugs out. And their citrus is juicy and thriving. Read all about how they're dealing with this problem in my full report in the Epic Times. Their multi-million-dollar solution bloomed out of a much simpler design, one that other farmers know well. This is lifelong citrus farmer Sidney Tillett. He's seen the peak of citrus industry in Florida, literal tons of grapefruit from a single orchard. Now he's barely hanging on. The bug has nearly ruined his family business, and all he can do is use that same mesh that the Bevilacquas are using to grow some fruit for his family. But since that system is so costly, he can only wrap the trees in small mesh bags for a few years. After that, it's just a matter of time before the bug infects and ends the trees. Since cups is costly, and the orange business is vital to Florida, researchers are looking for a more permanent solution. One goal is to make a strain of orange tree that is resistant to citrus greening disease, the very same infection that comes from the Asian citrus psyllid. For the time being, cups is the best solution. Shane said it's still early, but he's hopeful. He told me there certainly is a future to Florida's citrus industry.
Wow, I tell you what, it seems like we should be able to find a solution to deal with those bugs that's not so costly.
Yeah, and when I say costly, it is, for example, with Golden Ridge Groves, they've got almost 750 acres now, and they told me it's between $1.50, $3 a square foot. I did the math, and that's like tens of millions of dollars. It's a lot, and so it definitely it's a solution that a lot of people are using, and it definitely works. It's a permanent solution. You know, you basically grow an entire field of trees underneath these permanent, almost greenhouse-like structures that just essentially breathe. Air can pass through, moisture can pass through, the light can get through, but the bugs can't. But to kind of give you an indication of how much of a problem this has been with oranges specifically, since it was about the 97 to 98, I believe, year was the record year for oranges for Florida. We have seen a 95% decline since then. So that's like just under 30 years, an almost total like decimation of the industry. And I mean, when I grew up, I moved here from Michigan when I was really young, right a few years after that record year. And one of the first places I lived at in Florida, we had a navel orange tree, which is like a seedless orange. They're really, really delicious. They're kind of the really popular ones you'll see at the store. And then we also had what we call like juice orange tree. They were more like seeded oranges, good for making juice. It might have been Valencia. I'm not exactly sure, but it was just ubiquitous living in Florida. We had oranges everywhere. And then I thought about it before I looked into this topic. I was like, whatever happened to the orange trees and like the oranges? And we had a grove really, really popular right down the road from where I live right now that was such a staple in the community that it's been around longer than the man Sidney Tillett, who I interviewed in the story that you see in one of those photos in the video. He was telling me that that grove that's, it was called Nokomis Groves, and they'd been around longer than his family even, and they had to shut down. I want to say it was at some point in the last 10 years. I can't remember exactly when. And they were a staple of our community here, and now it's been just paved over with condos. So there's been a lot of change.
Are there other farmers that are taking on the same model of growing?
Yeah, so from what I understand, there's some of the few people who've stayed in the citrus industry in the state. This is like pretty much the only way they're able to do it, from what I've heard. There's a few other approaches, but they're not permanent. Like for example, with Sidney Tillett, he puts a small bag under baby trees, essentially saplings, and but then the bag's got to be taken off like 2 to 3 years, and then eventually the tree gets infected. So yeah, a lot of people like the Bevilacquas and some of their neighbors up in the Bartow area in Central Florida. You can drive down the road and see these structures. And Tillett was telling me he sees them over by the Fort Meade area. So there's definitely a lot of people who are using it, but then at the same time, a 95% decline means that a large number of the people who were previously growing citrus 20 to 30 years ago either are not growing anything at all anymore or have completely switched to, like I know row crops, in some cases tomato. Tillett had a friend who switched to lemons for a while, but then even that became untenable because the psyllid will infect lemon trees too. So I've even heard that they're doing it in California in some places, but California hasn't been as badly. Like they have the insect over there, from what I understand. It's just not as widespread yet. But who knows? It could get worse, and that's why like the University of Florida, as I explained in my story, they're really, really trying to find trees that will just survive the infection essentially and continue producing, and not just survive the infection, but like actually produce good fruit while battling the infection. Because even the trees that don't die, they start to wither. It basically, what it does is it affects their root system. And we already have really sandy soil in Florida, so it doesn't have much organic content. So that means like nutrients are just going to there's not as much nutrients in the soil to begin with. So if you do damage to this tree's root system, it's just going to be starved of the food it needs to survive.
Well, I'm just curious too about this Asian psyllid. Where did it come from? Why
China.
is it all of a sudden? Yeah, I'm okay. Well, right. Why all of a sudden now is it on the scene, and what do we know about that, and how can that be controlled?
Yeah, so to give you a more recent example of this, because it's kind of a similar pathway that it got in. So from what we know, the psyllid first got in the United States through Mexico and probably around 2005. And so I'm actually working on a story right now, hasn't been published yet, about just the spread of invasive species worldwide in general, various invasive species from insects to bacteria to plants to animals and so on and so forth. And honestly, literally just shipping a plant with soil in it, or in some cases it doesn't have to have soil, but a lot of times when an ornamental plant gets shipped, to another country, it can have those bugs in it, and people don't know, and then it gets into like a border country like Mexico, and then it just naturally gets its way through the border going north. And screwworm is back in the United States right now. And it came very similar way. They were tracking. I was talking to a researcher out of Texas about this a few weeks ago, and she was like, "Yeah, they saw it kind of making its way further north through Latin America, and they were monitoring it. And then they had a case in Mexico, and they knew it was going to happen because that's kind of unfortunately one of when that sort of thing, when that threat gets that close, it's a lot of times it's a matter of time." But to your question, what do we do to prevent this? That's why it's important. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has an agency. It's an acronym. I can't remember the exact words, but it's APHIS, I think PHIS, and they're basically tasked with preventing invasive species from getting through customs over the border and things like that. And unfortunately, there was a lot of cuts to APHIS over the last year. And so there were people concerned about this about a year ago when the federal government was announcing these cuts to that agency. They were concerned because we had spent millions upon millions combating screwworm, specifically trying to keep it out of pandemic levels in the United States, and they were worried that it could come back. And the Asian citrus psyllid is bad enough, but we can get
Yeah, and now
oranges from other
screwworms too.
places.
Yeah.
But
So,
screwworm will
Jacob,
just take out cows.
I want to, as you continue to keep an eye on this, I would like to continue. I'm hoping that we'll get some good news, down the road pretty quickly as they try to, all the minds come together and try to figure out how to solve this. Thank you for sharing your reports, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks for having me.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about that old age is not what you might have thought. It's you can get better as you get older, so don't go away.
Silver's been used as an antibacterial and antifungal agent for centuries. In the history of pharmaceutical, no pharmaceutical has ever cured anything. Our silver works outside the cell versus inside the cell. So ours steals the electron from the bacteria, fungus, or virus, destroying the cell wall, destroying the bacteria, fungus, or virus on contact. People use it for pretty much everything.
Scan the code on your screen or visit mychronicsilver.com and use code LADIES for 10% off your order. That's mychronicsilver.com.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Welcome to where classy meets Wild West. Buffalo Gypsy Boutique of Bismarck has clothing, decor, and gifts ranging from sophisticated boho style to fun and flashy. Our exclusive brands such as Scully, Double D Ranch, and Tanner Mark provide standout style for the whole family, right down to the little ones. We always have a great selection of Kimes denim, and we proudly offer American-made jewelry and artwork. Find Buffalo Gypsy classing up North Bismarck just off Highway 83.
West River Equipment of Mandan is here to help you maintain peak productivity in your operation. As an authorized dealer for many high-quality equipment lines, we have the new and used equipment it takes to make your farming, ranching, or construction operation profitable and efficient. West River Equipment also has the parts on hand and the experienced technicians in our shop to get your equipment back in action fast. Find what you need at West River Equipment on Old Red Trail in Mandan.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza.
Ashley, North Dakota is where life moves a little slower, but never gets dull. From hunting, camping, and fishing to safe streets where kids can be kids, this is the best of small town living. And Ashley offers everything you need, from healthcare to hardware to countless ways to stay active. Here, we've invested in our future with major upgrades to roads, parks, and education. Whether you're here for the day or here for life, you'll find Ashley's where you ought to be.
Aging doesn't always mean a loss of mental abilities, and I said at the beginning of the show, maybe I'd hint at how old we are, but I'm going to be 70, next year, and you guys are in your 40s.
Yep, about to be 44. Excited.
47.
So, but we are young at heart, and we try to live a healthy lifestyle, and I think it shows. I think we're energetic and we enjoy life, and this study is the first of its kind I've ever seen. So let's take a look.
Just prove that your brain can get sharper after 65. Most people assume aging means one thing: decline. Less memory. Slower thinking. And there's nothing you can do about it. But Yale University just tracked over 11,000 people aged 65 and older for 12 full years, and the results destroyed that myth. 45% of them actually improved. Cognitively, physically, or both. 32% got sharper mentally. 28% got stronger physically. And here's the part that changes everything. The single biggest predictor of improvement wasn't genetics, wasn't medication, wasn't even exercise. It was how they thought about getting older. The people who believed aging could be positive, they were significantly more likely to actually get better. Your brain doesn't have an expiration date. It has a mindset problem. Follow for more psychology facts that will change how you see yourself.
So I'm thinking I'm getting better with age.
Okay, so I could do a whole entire show on this. Neuroplasticity, you should Google it, AI it, whatever you need to, but our brain believes what we tell it. That's why affirmations are so important. That's why putting up, like on my mirror, I have in my lipstick, my goals, there's only 2 left, you know, out of all of them. But what we tell ourselves is so important, and it believes it. So if we get up and we're like, oh man, it's gonna be a bad day, we have a bad day. If we believe that we are gonna be an Olympian, we believe it's gonna be a great day, whatever it is, that's what our brain will do, and we can train our bodies. You know, I've got a girlfriend named Jeannie Rice who is 78, and they're doing studies all over the world on her because she has the same VO2 max as college athletes that are scholarship.
Wow.
I mean, and she's 78 now, right?
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing, breaking world records. Just because you're aging is not a limit, okay? So there's my... Quit limiting yourself.
And now we all know that. So even if you were tempted to be negative about getting older, we just gave everybody a reason that it not only is it true, but it can be more true if you put your mind and believe it.
It can be sharper, stronger, faster, better.
Yeah. You just got to engage and make healthy living and happiness your goal. So and it works. So thank you for joining us. We'll be back next time with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Ashley, North Dakota is where life moves a little slower, but never gets dull. From hunting, camping, and fishing to safe streets where kids can be kids, this is the best of small town living. And Ashley offers everything you need, from healthcare to hardware to countless ways to stay active. Here, we've invested in our future with major upgrades to roads, parks, and education. Whether you're here for the day or here for life, you'll find Ashley's where you ought to be.
We are the St. Mary Sisters. We are building a new facility here in Bismarck, North Dakota, for the sake of training young women to be courageous teachers in this state. The sisters will educate the younger generation to be fully alive through truth and discipline. The sisters' life of devotion and joy will make a positive difference in your community. Check out what we're up to, see what's going on, and join our mission to make a difference in the lives of the children of North Dakota.
I'm Gary Emmett, host of Open Range. We've been at this for the past couple years. Representative Matt Heilman of Bismarck and former legislator Brandon Pritchard are going to do some regular segments on Open Range. While we cover a lot of politics, we're still going to be continued doing mostly all things North Dakota. One exception, Friday evening, I'll be doing a new show on Open Range called On the Horn. This show will be long interviews of 3 to 5 hours with the people I'm interviewing. They'll be airing week after week on that Friday evening. So thank you for being a part of the Beck TV and Open Range family.
Come on in and experience small town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car. Whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute, we have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. Set Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I want to tell you, Lady Blue and I, we got a lot of miles together, but you know what? You and I got a lot of miles together as well. And all I want to do is bring to you the information on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations. So I'm going to continue to travel the world and unearth the stories that make it possible that we can live in a free United States of America.
I'm Corey Heppola, and a long time ago I left my small town for a big city. Now I wonder, what would it be like to move rural?
Just because we're small doesn't mean we can't have nice things.
This is my town.
Man, it's mad love up in here.
Sunday night, 6:30 on Beck TV.